Sometimes at the back of your head, you may be thinking, or I may be thinking, am I doing enough? Is this what the victim needs? Hi, I am Tiffany Denka. I'm a police psychologist within the Police Psychological Services Department, or PPSD for short. So what I do is I manage a pool of community volunteers known as victim care officers within this program called the Victim Care Cadre program. Where I come in to support them would be to conduct trainings for them. I also conduct research pertaining to victim management. So this is just to ensure that their skills, their knowledge, everything relating to victim care is updated. The VCC program is largely driven by police psychologists to ensure that victims of crime, they are supported throughout the investigation process, throughout the criminal justice process as well. So to be formally appointed as a VCO, volunteers would have to go through a very stringent selection and training process. They also have to meet certain criteria like having a necessary qualification. So for example, a bachelor's degree in psychology, counselling or even social work. I think willingness to help. Given the nature of the work that our volunteers do, the kind of people that they support, there needs to be a very intrinsic motivation that you want to help these people. Another thing is empathy, because empathy is a very key soft skill that these volunteers should have when interacting and connecting with the victims. The last is resilience. Some of the cases that they see can be potentially traumatizing. That's why volunteers and VCOs need to have at least a certain level of resilience. Yes, actually they do. So as part of their respective basic trainings, regular officers would have to go through a module on sensitivity training. So some of the topics that would be covered would be soft skills pertaining to victim management, as well as some theoretical knowledge about trauma. So there is also a group of officers known as sexual crime duty officers, and these are officers who are trained to handle sexual crimes. These officers would also undergo some assessment portions to ensure that they know what are some of the considerations to bear in mind when interacting with victims, and also to ensure that when they are actually attending to these victims themselves, whether they can employ certain empathy, soft skills pertaining to victim management. We are always constantly trying to review and improve the way that we support victims. And one of the ways that we have done so is to increase the diversity of our volunteer pool. In 2014, the volunteer pool comprised mostly of undergraduates, but recently we've also expanded the recruitment to include more professionals. Another thing that we have also seen would be the take-up rate. In the past few years, we have seen an increasing number of people requesting for this victim care service and this program. Seeing the direct impact and that positive difference that you can make in these people's lives. When my volunteers, or even myself, when we go down for activations, sometimes it can be quite short, but seeing how much change and how much improvements these activations can impact the victims, it's really very, very uplifting. Personally, I think one of the biggest challenges that I face is this idea of whether you're doing enough. But I think after going through the feedback sessions, when the victim shares that, hey, this was something that was very, very useful, this was something that I needed, that clears away whatever doubts that I have. It's something that's not easy, but again, it's something that's very, very meaningful. Thank you. That was 8 questions with a police psychologist.